Hey guys, thank you for clicking on this video. Do not forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Now my name is Joseph and I play the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer. But unlike him, I'm not crazy.
That's not true.
Shut up, Bertrum! The Castlevania series of video games started all the way back in 1986. I wasn't even one at that time, so obviously I didn't play the series until much later. But in this video, I'm going to tell you why I love the Castlevania series. So, what exactly is Castlevania? Well, I'm so glad you asked, dear viewer. This is basically a series of gothic horror action games in which we usually play as a member of the Belmont family of vampire hunters, and 9 times out of 10 the goal of the game will be to navigate a big gothic castle and take down Dracula. Now, if you don't know who or what Dracula is, then I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do for you. Hand in your horror film card and don't let the door hit you on the backside on your way out. The Castlevania series has been going strong for almost 40 years. Oh my god, I'm old. And in that time, there has been over 29 video games, hundreds of ports, several spin-offs, and even a fantastic animated series on Netflix. And if you've not watched the animated series yet, then, well, I'm sorry. There's absolutely nothing I can do for you. Hand in your horror fan card and don't let the door hit you on your backside on the way out. Now, the first Castlevania game I played was Super Castlevania 4 in the early 1990s for the SNES. And if you're wondering why Nintendo had this habit of putting the word super before everything, it's because SNES stands for Super Nintendo, which is a horrible superhero name, but was a great console, and it featured some of the best ports of popular games, including Prince of Persia, Batman Returns, Aladdin, The Adventures of Batman and Robin. I could go on. But we're not here to talk about those games. We're here to talk about Castlevania. Now, Super Castlevania 4 to this day is still one of my favourite games in the series. It was the first entry in this franchise that didn't look like complete arse. And if you don't believe me, go and look at footage from the first 3 Castlevania games. Yes. Now after that, I played Castlevania Bloodlines, sometimes referred to as Castlevania The New Generation. And that game was even better than Super Castlevania 4, with 2 playable characters and slightly better visuals. And that brings us very nicely onto Castlevania Symphony of the Night, a game that needs no introduction. Now, it first released in 1997, and even 25 years later is considered the pinnacle of the Castlevania series. Now, this was the first truly Metroidvania game in the series. And I assume you know what Metroidvania means.
I don't.
Shut the hell up, Bertrum. You're not even supposed to be in this video. Metroidvania games are basically the bastard children of the Metroid and the Castlevania series. So, Symphony of the Night requires the player to explore a massive castle, collecting power-ups that will let you explore more of said castle, with boss fights and puzzle solving thrown in for good measure. Now, I love Symphony of the Night, but is it my favourite Castlevania game? I'm not sure. It might be. It could be. I'm undecided. Now, other fantastic games that released in the years preceding Symphony of the Night were the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS titles, as well as another handheld title, Castlevania The Dracula X Chronicles, which released for the PSP in 2007. And for those of you who don't know, PSP stands for PISP, or PlayStation Portable. So, we briefly talked about the 2D Castlevania games, so now let's discuss the 3D entries. Now, the Nintendo 64 entries, which were the first 3D games in the series, are abysmal, so avoid them at all costs. The PlayStation 2 titles, those being Curse of Darkness and Lament of Innocence, are basically Devil May Cry clones, and I do enjoy them. Now, don't judge me, I love Devil May Cry, so stick the Castlevania name on it, and I'm bound to love it. Then, of course, we have the most recent entries in this series, Lords of Shadow, Un, and De. Now, if you don't know, Un means one, and De means two. And it's duh, not duh, duh. Because I know some people get confused between the two of them sometimes. So it's duh, not duh. Now these are kind of, sort of, God of War clones, with a much higher emphasis on hack and slash combat and platforming. I like them. I don't like Robert Carlyle as Dracula, spoilers, but I do like them. And if you don't know who Robert Carlyle is, then there's nothing I can do for you. Don't let the door hit you on the backside on the way out. Now, there's also a really nice 2.5D game in this spin-off series called Mirror of Fate, which I really, really like. That was originally released on the Nintendo 3DS, but there is a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 port, assuming we can still play downloadable games on the PlayStation and the Xbox 360. I haven't checked because of the PlayStation Now subscription service, Xbox Game Pass thing. Anyway, moving on. So why do I love the Castlevania series? Well, it's quite simple. I am a horror fanatic. Be it movies, plays, musicals, TV shows, toilet paper, I love them all. Especially gothic horror, like Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, etc. Now, I also love platformers / action games. So, combining the two, a gothic horror story and setting with platforming and action gameplay, not to mention the fact that Dracula is often cast as the bad guy. Now, how could I not love that? I hope there will be a new entry in the Castlevania series sooner rather than later. Can you imagine a Castlevania reboot on the PlayStation 5? Ooh la la. I'm already aroused just thinking about it. Anyway, until there is a new entry in the Castlevania series, at least we have the original games and its hundreds of ports to keep us busy until then. So, if you are watching this, Konami, which you're not, but if you just so happen to be watching this, or you're a cleaner who works for Konami, or the person who gets the coffee, or I don't know, anyone, if you are watching this, make a new Castlevania game right bloody now. Speaking of bloody, if you'll excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, a vampire was hiding under my desk and it has bitten me downstairs. So, I must attend to that before my genitals start craving blood. What an image that is. So, if you enjoyed this little video of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well, give me a thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on the notifications so you can see whenever I, or OCG, post a new video. And until then, remember the most important thing you are always told on this channel, ladies and gentlemen, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Say goodbye, Bertram.
Goodbye, Bertram. I'm very confused. Why were you speaking with a different voice a minute ago?
I wasn't.
Are you still here? Go away! I'm sure you've got something better to do with your time. Seriously, piss off! Be gone! Au revoir! Auf Wiedersehen! Bye! What in the hell is wrong with you? Go away! Vacate this space! Hit the cross at the top of the screen! The video is done! It's over! It's finito! It's caputo!